Thank you all for coming here this afternoon to commemorate the 5th Yahrzeit of my and Naomi's beloved daughter, Tali, Eitana, and Nurit's sister, and everyone's friend, Aliza. Your presence here means an awful lot to us, more than you could ever imagine. On behalf of myself and my family, thank you from the bottom of our hearts. The actual date of the Yahrzeit was this past Erev Shabbos, Yud Gimel Tammuz, Tafshin Ayin Gimel. May all the Divrei Torah spoken here today be an aliyah for the neshama of Aliza Chaya, Bas Nachum Leib ben Naomi. I have chosen a slightly different format for this year. I will be speaking to Aliza. You are invited to listen in. You should know, Aliza, that it was Ima's idea, initiative, efforts, and her clear thinking to have this shiur on this occasion. As difficult as it is for us, it should be an aliyah for your neshama, and it does help us in many ways to continue on by relating your beautiful traits so that we and others may follow in your derech, by clarifying many important ideas in our minds, and by the support we so strongly feel from all of those here. Aliza, listen to this Dvar Torah I recently saw from Rabbi Twersky on Parshat Balak. You always used to sit down with me when I was preparing the Mishnayot for the Mishnah Yomit shiur. I love learning together with you. Let me know what you think. I hope you don't mind a couple of others who were listening in on our conversation. It says in Parshat Balak, Lo hibit aven b'Yaakov, v'lo ra'a amal b'Yisrael. He perceived no iniquity in Jacob and saw no perversity in Israel. Rashi says that amal is lashon avera. This denotes transgression, perversity. As Rabbi Twersky writes, and I quote because he wrote it so beautifully, the Hebrew word amal, translated here as perversity, has a second meaning, toil. It is an expression for work, especially laborious and exhausting work. The Or HaChaim uses this translation to give a unique interpretation to Bilam's words. He saw no exhaustion in Israel. Bilam perceived that even when Israel devotes itself wholeheartedly to the observance of Torah and mitzvos, it does not exhaust them. He writes, Nischaven al derech omro. This is the Kavanah, quoting a pasuk from Mishlei Perek Chet, pasuk Yodalad. Ani bina li gvura. I am understanding, with me is might. Kisha had sadikim oskim b'Torah, umasmidim ba ein lahem amal b'esek haTorah, she'adarabba, hinosenes lo gvura. It is a well-known fact that when someone has an overwhelming desire for something, he may be tireless in its pursuit. For example, it was not unusual for our great Talmidei Chachamim to study Torah for 18 hours each day. They are not tired out from this, rather it strengthens them. As an aside, I heard someone speaking yesterday on Shabbos, and he was quoting the Or HaChaim. He mentioned that the Or HaChaim's Yahrzeit is Tesvav Tammuz, today, and that it is a big zchus, a big merit for the neshama to say over Torah from someone on their Yahrzeit. When I decided a few days ago that I would be quoting him today, I had no idea that it was his Yahrzeit. I only heard that yesterday. Since we don't believe in coincidences, this must be a good simon. The Navi Yeshaya in Perek Mem Gimel, Pasuk Chaf Bet, says, V'lo osi karasa Yaakov, ki yagat bi Yisrael. You did not call upon me, Jacob, because you became weary of me, Israel. The Maggid of Dubna explains this pasuk with a mashal. A merchant alighted from a ship and hired a porter to deliver his merchandise to his home. When the porter knocked at his door, Sweating profusely and breathing heavily, the merchant promptly said, "Those were not my packages that you brought." The porter asked, "You haven't even seen what I brought. How can you say they're not yours?" "Because," the merchant said, "I deal in jewelry. My packages are light. They never would have caused you to sweat profusely." The Maggid said, "This is the thought the Navi is conveying. Hashem says, 'How do I know that you are not calling upon me? Because you become weary and exhausted with your praying. You may be just going through the motions of prayer. Praying to me would not cause you to be fatigued." Aliza, we know how you devoted yourself to your family, to Torah, to art. You spent countless hours in many classes, reviewing your notes alone and with classmates. You would put in dozens of hours day after day, sometimes late into the night, working on an artistic piece, sometimes seeking my help to get it perfect in your eyes. Such patience I don't have and have rarely seen. And at the same time, you never used that as an excuse not to spend time with the family, with your sisters, enjoying each other's company, going to the mall, going out to eat, helping them with homework, and studying for tests. I can picture in my mind when you were helping Nariti pack for Camp Dina at the end of June. Armoire open. Aliza, you were sitting on the floor in her bedroom, calmly folding her clothes, pile after pile, helping her select what she should pack after midnight. This went on until at least 2 a.m., I am told. Aliza, you never raised your voice to her. We should all think of Aliza when performing a mitzvah, when doing chesed, and remember that we are fortunate to have that opportunity. We should not view it as a burden, not as amal as hard work, but rather approach it joyfully so that it will feel light to us. And as the Or HaChaim wrote, it will give us strength. By doing this with Aliza in mind, we will be giving her neshama a well-deserved aliyah. Aliza, Ima and I, your sisters, Tali, Eitana, and Nariti, your grandparents, Saba and Savta, Bubby and Zaidi, aunts, uncles, cousins, your friends, and all those who know you, all of us realize how special you are. I know, we know, that you are proud of Ima and your sisters. They have risen to the many challenges facing the family and have been a strong support for me and for each other. We couldn't have functioned without drawing on our inner strengths that you showed us we all have. We should all learn from you with your spunk and your non-judgmental attitude. Ima would always encourage you not to let things get you down, to keep your goals in focus, to see the forest from the trees, a unique clarity of vision that she had, and you were amazingly successful. Aliza, I don't know how well you knew Rabbi Jachter, but trust me, he is an extremely qualified Talmid Chacham and a truly caring human being. He has been connected to our family even without any one of us attending TABC since the time a while ago when he served as the interim rabbi here at Rinat. He has written a few volumes of a sefer titled Gray Matter, the third volume of which was dedicated in your memory. He is a warm person, easy to talk to, and it was an easy choice for me to ask him to speak at this year. I would now like to call upon Rabbi Jachter to address us today.
Thank you for your kind words, Dr. Esral. I knew Aliza, and I knew Aliza a little bit indirectly, mostly through the portal of my eldest daughter, Bracha, who's a very good friend of Nurit. And the impressions that I formed of Aliza came from the afternoons when the families would be coming to send off the young ladies to Camp Dina, and we'd see Aliza would be there watching over Nurit and making sure that everything was going smoothly. Everything is everyone has a place on the bus. Everyone is all happy. And this is the impression that I formed in my mind those years, watching Nurit on send-off day, pick-up day, and it's as follows. I formed the impression that 5 qualities stood out. That she was a wise person, kind person, modest person, intelligent, and ambitious. And because of all these 5 attributes, I felt that it was very important and it would be most appropriate to choose a story about someone who embodied all of these traits, and that is Hillel. Hillel is someone, certainly we think of wise, kind, modest, intelligent, ambitious. And one story, quite a perplexing story that we're going to take a look at today, is a story about Hillel accepting one of the many Gerim that he accepted, and a surprising choice that he made. We're trying to analyze it. We're trying to dig out and notice how wise Hillel was. So you can take a look at the source sheets. I'm sure everybody has, and there should be plenty of extras. I just see a few members of my Kehillah. I just wanted to apologize for the Ashkenazic pronunciation. I figured it's... Okay. Source number 1. All right, let's take a look at the story with Hillel and Shammai about a certain ger that Hillel accepted and Shammai rejected. Let's try to form an opinion. Who's the one that makes sense? Is it Shammai or is it Hillel? Let's take a look at source number 1. Here we go. Shuv ma'aseh b'nachri achad. You have a story with a non-Jew. Shaya over acharei beit midrash. That he would pass in the back of a beit midrash. Interesting that he would. Seems that it was habitual with him. That he was drawn somehow to the beit midrash. V'shama kol sofer, and he would hear the sofer as he was writing the Sefer Torah. Because as you may know, as the sofer writes the Sefer Torah, before he writes a word, he says the word aloud. So he writes the pasuk Breishis bara Elokim es hashamayim v'haaretz. First he says Breishis, okay, writes Breishis. Bara writes bara Elokim. Right? This is how the Sefer Torah is written. And this particular non-Jew here, was passing by the Beit Midrash as the sofer is writing a Sefer Torah. He's writing Parshat Tetzaveh. Shaya Omer, describing the clothes that the Kohen Gadol wore. Be'ela b'gadim asher ya'asu. These are the clothes the Kohen Gadol wears. Choshen, ephod, me'il, right, ketonet, etc. And he got all excited. Whoa, all these wonderful clothes. Wow, this is amazing. Halal l'mi. His interest was piqued. Who wears such clothes? Amrulo. So they all answered him, oh, this is the Kohen Gadol. The Kohen Gadol wears such clothes. Amar oto nachri ba'atzmo. So this particular non-Jew starts thinking, wow, the Kohen Gadol wears these clothes. I want to wear these clothes. Elech v'etgayer. Oh, I'm going to become Jewish. Why? Bishvil sheyesamuni Kohen Gadol. I want to be the Kohen Gadol. I'm going to become, that's my ambition. He was so taken by these wonderful clothes the Kohen Gadol wore. Ba lifnei Shammai. And again, let's form an opinion. Who do you think is correct, Shammai or is it Hillel? Ba lifnei Shammai. So this person comes to Shammai. Let's see if Shammai will accept me. Amar le, he comes in front of Shammai, knocks on his door, makes an appointment, sits down in his office. And he says, okay, Rabbi Shammai, Gayareni al manach tzmeni Kohen Gadol. I'd like to convert. But I have one condition. The condition is, al manat, I want to be the Kohen Gadol. If you're not going to appoint me the Kohen Gadol, I'm not interested in converting. Okay? So what did Shammai do? Dachafo ba'amat habinyan shbiyado. He had this building tool, this cubit meter, a cubit measure, and he took this measure and he pushed him out. He just pushed this person out because What did he think? He thought it was Shammai is perceiving this person as coming to insult him and Torah and Judaism and perhaps even Hashem. No tolerance for this person. Baal Lifnei thought it was a joke, some sort of a prank that they're pulling on him. What happens? Baal Lifnei Hillel. Right, so then he comes in front of Hillel. Hey, what does Hillel do? Hillel, astonishingly, what does it say? Gayare. Gayare. He converted him. It sounds like he converted him. Amar lo. All right, let's continue with. Let's see what happens in the episode. Now he's converted. Okay, so day after conversion, so he shows up in the base medrash, which is very nice. Comes up to Hillel, and Hillel says to him, "Hey, you know, I find this part of the story is the most charming part." Amar, said to him, can you appoint, you want to be the king, you want to be the leader, you have to know the protocol. So come, let's learn the protocols. And this way you can become king. So it's interesting. Hillel's already working with his mishagas that he has in his head that he's going to become the Kohen Gadol. And here, let's have Kohen Gadol preparation. It almost reminds me of the story they say about was a certain Hasidic Rebbe had to deal with somebody who convinced himself he was a chicken, and he would be. See, Rabbi Blackstein's already nodding. It's a great story that this fellow would sit under the table and he would without clothes because he thought he was a chicken, and then he would peck at his food and act like a chicken. And his family was not too pleased with this, so they brought all kinds of doctors from all over, and they couldn't cure him. Then finally, they sought the services of a wise Hasidic Rebbe. What did the wise Hasidic Rebbe do? He came and sat down with him under the table, and he introduced himself. He said, "Hi." He said, "Hi, I'm a chicken." So really, you're a chicken, and you be wearing clothes? He said, No. You can be a chicken and wear clothes too. And next week he came and said, okay. He sat down at the table and was eating with a fork and a knife. So chickens don't eat with a fork and a knife. They peck at the food. No. You could be a chicken and eat with a fork and a knife as well. And eventually, he brought him around to restore and brought him back to his sanity. So too, Hillel is already working with this person and says to him, okay, you want to be the king, you have to learn all the lessons of the king. Okay. So let's learn the protocols, the royal protocols. And here we go. We're studying Torah. Halach v'kara. They're studying Torah. You must. They come to the pasuk that says, talks about Hazara Karev Yumat, which means that someone who's not a Kohen, who dares offer service in the base of Mikdash, what is their punishment? Right? You meet mitah. That's it. No tolerance. Ooh, that's a rude awakening for this person, for this ger. Oh my goodness, what's he going to do now? So he's shocked. So he asks Hillel, Mikra zel mi ne'amar. Ooh. Who's this said about? Listen to the answer. Hillel says, Amar lo afilu al David HaMelech. Even David Melech Yisrael, he still cannot serve, and if he serves, chayav mitah b'dei shemayim. Okay, so what does the ger do? Again, let's think about who was right, Hillel and Shammai. So listen, happens. Nas also ger kal v'chomer ba'atzmo. The ger starts making kal v'chomer about himself. The Jewish people have a special relationship with Hashem. People who are born Jewish, they have this rule. I just showed up yesterday. How much more so? That I can't become the Kohen Gadol, and he realizes I can't become the Kohen Gadol. So what do you expect? What should happen? At this point that he finds out that he can't become the Kohen Gadol, where is he going to go? He's going back. He's taking the first bus out. He's leaving. No, he's stuck with it. In fact, he came back to Shammai with a complaint. He says, "Klum ra'oi ani lios Kohen Gadol." Hey, why didn't you just tell me I can't be the Kohen Gadol? You didn't have to throw me out. You must. And he came to Hillel and he said, "Well, because of your kindness and your wisdom and your modesty, Amar lo and Vanasan Hillel yanuch alecha brachos al rashacha. You should be blessed. You krevoni tachas kanfeshkin. You brought me close to Hashem." Okay. So let's start attacking the story. Let's see what should you be thinking. Number one, Who seems offhand to make much more sense? Should you accept someone like this to be a ger? Should you not accept someone like this to be a ger? Who makes more sense? Shammai or Hillel? Avi Aviner, right? Of course, Shammai offhand seems to make absolutely correct. You can't come to, this is a reason to become Jewish. Become Jewish because someone like Ruth, they want to come close to Hashem. They want to be part of the special Jewish people, the extraordinary Jewish people. He wants to become the Kohen Gadol. And why does he want to become the Kohen Gadol? Because he likes the clothes. It's like someone wants to be the Sephardic chief rabbi because he likes the dress. That doesn't make sense. That's not the reason. That's not the reason why you would want to become Jewish. Shammai seems to make so much sense, so much more sense than Hillel. Hillel is puzzling. That's going to be our first question. And we want to compound it even more. There is a major machlokas, there's a major discussion about what does it mean when it says that Hillel Gayareh, that Hillel converted him? What does it mean? So let's take a look in sources 2 and 3, an incredibly important machlokas between the Maharsha and Rashi. So the Maharsha asks on Hillel. I don't understand. Okay, so first he said, Miuk Sas Kasha. Let's start in the middle of the line. He has a kasha on Hillel. Would you accept a ger of someone who's coming converting simply because he wants to achieve power? He wants to become closer to the king. Shulchan Malachim? No, absolutely not. Because he wants to marry somebody? No, we reject someone like that. That's not considered to be a legitimate reason to convert. V'lo adif. I don't understand. This is why is this person converted, right? Simply because he wants the clothes. Why did Hillel accept him? So listen to this amazing suggestion that the Maharsha makes. He says as follows: you have to say, what does it mean that Hillel accepted him? It says, Lav Dafka. That didn't mean that he converted him. Ella Lav. Ella, the lo gayare ad the basar hachi. Sheyada the ger aser b'chuhuna. That it's only after he realized that he cannot become the Kohen Gadol, and he made peace with it, and he wanted to remain Jewish. Only when he proved his loyalty to Judaism, he was committed to it, even if he wouldn't be the Kohen Gadol, only then did Hillel accept this person to be a ger. When it said that when the Gemara said Gayare, don't interpret it literally, argues the Maharsha. He accepted him as a candidate for conversion, not as a convert. So argues the Maharsha. When we talk Shalol Lishma, Bo Lishma, okay, eventually Hillel figures that he'll bring him in. So insists the Maharsha. And of course he asks, how would he teach Torah to someone who's not Jewish? So the Maharsha lays down the rule, which we follow, halacha l'maaseh. Somebody who's studying for Gerus, you're permitted to teach him Torah. Very important rule, says from this Maharsha. Number 3, let's contrast this with Rashi. Let's see how Rashi translates the words Gayare. Converted him. In all the cases, the Gemara speaks about Hillel converting these out-of-the-box type of converts. Hillel relied on his wisdom. That eventually he will train this person to accept the mitzvos. And he'll accept it wholeheartedly. And you can't compare it to somebody who comes in and says to the Beis Din, I'm going to accept Torah, except for one particular mitzvah. No. It's not, you can't compare it. Shloya kofer b'Torah Sheba'al Peh. He didn't deny the Torah Sheba'al Peh. It's just he didn't believe. We're speaking about, Rashi speaking about one of the other Gerim that Hillel accepted. Somebody who insisted, I'll convert only if I believe in the Torah, the written Torah, not in the oral Torah, and yet Hillel converted them. What does it seem from Rashi? Rashi seems to be saying that he actually converted him or accepted him as a candidate for conversion. Rashi seems to be saying that Hillel actually converted him. So the kasha remains on Hillel, especially according to Rashi, that he converted this person, even though his motivations were bizarre. He doesn't seem to be committed to Torah. How could Hillel do such a thing? Question number 1. Question number 2. 2 of 3. Why didn't this ger, as soon as he found out that he could not become the Kohen Gadol, and all those beautiful clothes would never be his. Why at that point did he not say, at this point, that's it, I have nothing to do with Judaism. I can't achieve my goal. My ambition of these clothes will not be realized. I should leave. Why didn't he abandon the Torah at that point? Question number 2. Question number 3, I think might be the key to understanding the other two. Listen to Hillel's response. Let's take a look back in source number 1. I have it underlined. Amar lo. Hillel says to the ger who asks, who does Zara Karev Yimas? Who does that apply to? He says, Afilu al David HaMelech. Here's the question. Why does Hillel specifically mention David HaMelech? That is, applies even to David HaMelech. Why is David HaMelech mentioned? I can think of a much more appropriate person to choose as a model. That you can't be the Kohen Gadol. And who would that be? Uzziah. Let's take a look at source number 4. Uzziah HaMelech. Now Uzziah, most people don't know who Uzziah is. Uzziah, we hear him a little bit Shabbat Chazon. We know he was a king at the time when Yeshayahu prophesied. Some of you may know the song in source number 4. I threw in that first pasuk, Vayiven Uzziyahu Migdalim B'Yushalayim Vayechaz came. I never understood why that pasuk was chosen as a song, but nonetheless, it was a popular Israeli song once upon a time. And Uzziah was a successful king. Continues on, Pasuk Tet Zayin. Listen to this. Uchechez kato, as he became stronger and his strength and his prominence grew, what happened? Gavali Bo became arrogant. And ad lahashchit in a very negative way. And what did he decide to do? Vayavo hechal Hashem laktir al mizbech haktoret. That he's going to offer the Torah just as the Kohen Gadol. He insists, I'm the king, I'm all powerful, no one could stop me, I'm going to offer the Torah in the Kodesh HaKodashim. And what happens to Uzziyahu? The Kohanim beg him, don't do this. This is not your role, don't do this. This is only Kohanim B'nai Aaron, you're not a child of Aaron. What are you doing? Lo lecha kavod me Hashem Elokim. Hashem did not extend this kavod to you. And what happened? Uzziyahu did not accept the Musar, and he was struck with Tzara'as and Pasuk Chavav, Vahi Uzziyahu HaMelech Mitzorah Ad Hayom Hazeh. That Uzziyahu was struck with Tzarat as a consequence for his entire life. So the question that you should ask is as follows. Why didn't Hillel simply mention to this person, he asked about Zara Karev Yumat. If you want an example of a Zara Karev Yumat, a true life example, why didn't Hillel mention the story of Uzziyahu? That really would have shook up this ger and make him realize that he cannot be the Kohen Gadol. And if he tries, and if he dares tries, like this person tried, it's going to result in an abominable failure. What's going on? So I'd like to begin with an answer let's answer this third question. So again, our question is, why would Hillel accept him? Why didn't he abandon? And why specify David HaMelech? Let's begin with answering question number 3, citing the answer of the Torah Tamima. He says as follows. David was chosen because, this psukim in source number 5. Divrei Yom records as follows. V'yasal batim bir David, v'yachan makom la'aron Elokim, v'yet lo ohel. That David HaMelech brought one of his first steps in the first step in building the base of Mikdash was bringing the Aron. It was in Kiryat Ye'arim, which is today's Abu Ghosh. He brought it from Kiryat Ye'arim. He brought it up to Ir David. And that was the first step in having the Beit HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. Okay, as he sets it up, as he sets a place for the Aron in Yerushalayim, what does David proclaim? A royal edict was sent out. Azamar David lo laseit Aron Elokim kim alevim. Only Levim are allowed to carry the Aron. Now you'd think, as a king, as a very prominent king, as an all-powerful king, he was not just a king. David was an emperor. This powerful, mighty emperor should say, I should have the honor of carrying the Aron. No, he says, only Leviim. Only Leviim. So why does Hillel cite David HaMelech? Because it's a role model, as a positive role model for Hillel, for this ger, saying that, hey, just as Hillel, just as David HaMelech respected boundaries, and he understood that he was that he is as powerful as he was not a descendant of of Aaron, and he could not become the Kohen Gadol. Very nice answer. I'd like to take it. Oh, that's correct. That's a good point. Excellent. Thank you, Avi. That's an excellent point. He wants us. We can add that he specifies David because he comes from the quintessential Gioret, right? Ruth, right? Who serves the role model for Gerim of all time. That's probably an allusion to Ruth. No doubt you're correct. No doubt you're correct. But you can add even further. It say as follows: that what Hillel is saying to this ger, to this gentleman, that I recognize in you that really what you want is you're not interested in the clothes. What you're interested is in greatness. You want to become close to Hashem. You want to be a great Jew. You're ambitious. You want to achieve great heights. I see that in you. But here's your model. Here's David HaMelech. David HaMelech was certainly an ambitious Jew. He was certainly a successful Jew. Did he have to be the Kohen Gadol? No. There are many ways, there are many portals, there are many entryways in which you can become great. You can come close to Hashem. You can be an outstanding, excellent Jew. And it doesn't have to, there's not only one model. Kohen Gadol is one model, but that's for certain people. It's the model for kingdom is for certain people. There are many ways you can do it. You can find your path. You can find your path to excellence. Sir Anonymous Ger, you can become great. You can achieve what you want, and you do not have to be the Kohen Gadol. And with this message, we understand why this person did not abandon Torah. Because he realized he can achieve what he wants to achieve, even ultimate his desire is not the clothes. The ultimate desire is the greatness, is to become close to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, to become a great Jew. That's his desire. And Hillel in his wisdom discerned that. Shammai seemed to only see the outside. He just saw the externals. And the externals looked like this person is not a viable candidate. But Hillel saw that beneath the externals lied someone who was a great candidate, a candidate to be an excellent ger, someone who was going to be an outstanding Jew. You just had to adjust his perspective, and as soon as you were successful in adjusting his perspective, you were able to bring this person in the proper method, and to be able to become an excellent Jew and an excellent ger. This is the wisdom, the sensitivity of Hillel, who understood this person and brought this person and elevated this person to great heights. In conclusion, I'd like to say as follows, that tzaddikim afil b'mitatan kruyim chayim. Tzaddikim, even when they're no longer alive, are considered to be alive. Afilu b'mitatan kruyim chayim, are still alive. Why? Because they're models. They are still role models, even if they're no longer alive. Hillel remains for us a role model, even though he passed away long ago. When we learn these stories about Hillel, and we see how wise he was, his intelligence, his sensitivity, and we learn about his ambition, how he was somebody who was willing to study Torah and risk his life to study Torah. He was willing to climb the roof in the middle of the winter on a Friday night to hear Torah from Shmaya V'Avtalion. He remains a role model for us, a powerful role model for us, and he guides our lives. In a certain way, Hillel is alive. And I think we could say the same thing for Aliza. That for Aliza Esral, such a powerful role model for us. Again, in a quiet way, in a quiet, sanua way. A role model for all of us, of that quiet wisdom, the wise older sister, the kindness, the intelligence, the ambition, and the modesty. For us, Aliza is Kruya Chayim, is called alive because her model of behavior, her midot tovot, her wisdom, and her whole way of life remains very much alive for us and continues to inspire each and every one of us gathered here. So when we gather every year to commemorate the Yahrzeit, it reminds us of these midot, and once again we rekindled the excellent example that Aliza set and model she set for all of us, and truly she can consider to be in this way Kruya Chayim. We look forward to the time of Yemot HaMashiach, when we will experience Tchiyat HaMeitim, and at that time we'll see Aliza again, and we will appreciate her even more. For all these years of that extra appreciation of Aliza, we'll appreciate her even more when B'Yemot HaMashiach, even more than we did beforehand. Tehi Zichra Baruch.
Thank you, Rabbi Jachter, for your inspiring, uplifting, and beautiful remarks. As a way to perpetuate Aliza's memory, on an ongoing basis, we started the Aliza Esral Midot Award. The award is given to graduating high school seniors who we feel possess and embody Aliza's Midot: insight, sensitivity, warmth, and caring that were the essence of her personality. I would like to call upon Eitana to announce the awardees.
When I think of Aliza, so many things come to mind: sweet, kind, caring, loving, generous, giving, compassionate, genuine, empathetic, to name a few. She knew how to greet everyone in a friendly manner, making each person feel important and special. She looked for the best in everyone and in every situation. She is truly one of a kind, someone I have always and still do admire and hope to emulate. We are pleased this year to once again be giving the award to those candidates we found that most personified those midot which embodied Aliza. We would like to congratulate the following students on receiving the Aliza Esral Midot Award: Jordana Fremid from Frisch, Daniela Marcus from Veria, Miriam Rosenblum from Kushner, Rebecca Schwartz from SAR, and Esther Simchi from Mayanot. Mazel Tov. May they continue to be inspired by Aliza's midot, and may Aliza's memory and legacy live on forever.
In conclusion, it's important that we listen, hear, recognize, understand, and act on the messages and examples shown to us by our departed loved ones. In this way, we can emulate Hashem, who is Machayeh HaMeitim. So, Aliza, when you want to get our attention, I would like you to speak in a loud voice, shout, and scream. We all want to hear what you have to say. Goodbye, Aliza, for now. Catch you later. Tehei Nishmata Brucha. May we share in many smachot in the future. May we all merit to see the coming of Mashiach Tikenu Bimhera B'Yameinu, when we will all be reunited with all our loved ones. Thank you again all for coming.